A bit of hypocrisy in the Kolbrin Bible. First verse, Amos tells his own people that they should not provoke the people that accepted them by forcing beliefs and abusing their goodwill. Yet in verses 5, 6, 7, and 8, he shows that even a wise elder might suffer an attack of arrogance. Kolbrin Bible, Book 4, Children of Fire, Chapter 4, Amos. SOF 4:1. Amos led the congregation and the people down from the mountains and brought them into the land of Heth. A good land was opened up before them, but Amos warned the people that they were like gems among pebbles. Therefore, they were not to provoke the people who had accepted them because of their skill. This is a flaw in all religions. Way too much arrogance and pride pushing on others' beliefs that they never sought out. I doubt God would want you to browbeat someone into following you, especially a people that open their arms to accept you without insisting on your conversion to their beliefs. SOF 4:5. As Amos went out among the sons of Heth, he taught the way of light, but they would not listen to his words. They were like men walking a circle in darkness, one behind the other, each having his hand on the shoulder of the man in front. Therefore, when the king of the sons of Heth came to buy what Kenem had made, Amos spoke to him about the way of light, and sometimes the king listened. When they came upon priests of the sons of Heth, Amos said, "What manner of men are these who prance about as though the ground were covered with hot cinders? Before their altars they are like drunkards who go about shouting and singing. They leap like horses kicking at the wind." SOF 4:6. What manner of spirit possesses them? Is it a spirit of light or a spirit of darkness? We have seen this often among your people. It is seen even among the princes and those who sit in judgment. Who can understand the words that pour from their lips? This is not prophecy, but a drug-induced delusion. The people who listen to their words are as misguided as those who resort to a tomb at night and sit within a vault. If a spirit comes, it is a restless one, whose words have little value, for they are hollow, empty things. SOF 4:6. What manner of spirit possesses them? Is it a spirit of light or a spirit of darkness? We have seen this often among your people. It is seen even among the princes and those who sit in judgment. Who can understand the words that pour from their lips? This is not prophecy, but a drug-induced delusion. The people who listen to their words are as misguided as those who resort to a tomb at night and sit within a vault. If a spirit comes, it is a restless one, whose words have little value, for they are hollow, empty things. Verse 8. The king stays polite, but points out to his people Amos and his group's rituals are just as odd. And still, even with the warning, Amos continues to push his views even after the king was nice enough to overlook the breach in manners of Amos. SOF 4:7. Surely the gods of such as these are demons in disguise, whose powers are a myth, for they are unhearing and unseen things. They are unfeeling idols clothed in garments of delusion, woven within the tormented thoughts of men. SOF 4:8. The king said, I have seen your own holy men as they sat beneath their trees, and they too acted in a manner strange to the eyes of ordinary men. Where is the difference? Amos said, Our holy men sit in quietude at peace within themselves, and if their mortal eyes are unseen, it is because their spirits roam freely as birds. There is a test whereby the difference can be made known, if you will agree to it. The king gave the sign of consent. SOF 4:9. Then a place of absolute darkness was prepared, a place to which light could in no manner be admitted. Into it went 2 priests of the sons of Heth, and 2 of the holy ones from the congregation, the king and 2 attendants and Amos. Then, while the king and his attendants watched, they saw the holy ones radiate a light that lit up the whole darkness, so that the faces of all became visible. The priests of the sons of Heth remained in darkness, for their spirits were feeble things without power. This is the test of true illumination. Not only does the chapter show arrogance and intolerance of those who only showed hospitality, but then they have a ritual that denigrates further their host beliefs, insisting their souls were more wise and stronger than the king and his men. SOF 415. When Amos left the temple, he took with him a woman named Kedshot, whom he had won from the priests, and he made her free. The degradation of women to serve the temples was common in the land of Heth, and Amos raised his voice against it. When next, in the presence of the king, he said, "The common feelings of all men condemn fornication, and it is not allowed by your own laws. Yet, if fornication is sanctified to your God, the priests permit it for their profit. Is it not true that this wickedness is now so common in the temples of Heth, that the woman who seeks to sell the services of her body in the drinking booths can ask no more than a handful of meal?" The king said, "Such is the custom of Heth, which is of long standing and cannot be changed." Amos said, "Does the long standing of a custom make it good?" SOF 416. Amos said, "If your desire is to walk in the light of truth, you must choose between your form of worship and righteousness. You must choose between your gods of this land and truth. If a nation sow the wind, it must be prepared to reap the whirlwind, for no other crop can spring from such seed, except through violation of laws which are never inconsistent." The king said, "I have long been patient with you, stranger, with the unbridled tongue, but do not overvex me." Amos held his peace, for he had disregarded his own command to his people. Finally, the king is more forceful. Amos understands his lack of humility, so he backs off. SOF 417. Yet the king heard the words of Amos, and was kindly towards him. When the king came to Lasan to buy the wares of the Kenem, Amos was there with them, and the king said to him, "The gods of Heth are many. Added to those of other places, the gods must be beyond counting. Why are there so many, and which one is it most profitable to serve?" "The priests say each has power in its own place. Can this be so among gods?" Amos said, "There is only one God, but each man views him from a different standpoint, and in his own light. It is even so with lesser things of earth. How much more so with the greater things of heaven? A mountain rises up from a plain, and men see it from all sides, and to each it appears different. Some see it in daylight, and others in moonlight, some at dusk, and some at dawn. It is never alike to all men. Even so, do men view God in different aspects, as no man knows the whole mountain, but sees it only in part. So men see God in part, and each man names the part he sees according to what he sees, and his understanding. Therefore, though it seems that the gods are numerous because of their names and differences, each is no more than a part of the whole. There is, in truth, only one God, but what mortal man can see him in wholeness?" SOF 418. The king said, "If this be so, as well it may be, my eyesight is as good as yours, and I see just as far." Amos said, "He who has ridden around the mountain and climbed to its summit knows it best." It isn't that it's wrong to talk about your own religion's positives, only that you must allow them to reach out to you. If a person is to embrace your views, it must be through God opening the person's mind and heart. He will provide the opportunity if there is one. If the person reaches out to you and asks, then answering those questions while not denigrating their beliefs is the best way. The first move should not be by you, it must be gradual. If your ideals and religion is right, you won't need to force feed them to get converts. Having said this, it is clear that Amos understood. He violated his own advice in verse 1, and by verse 17, the king did finally ask a question, giving opportunity to teach Amos's beliefs.